couldn't divulge anything.
Jen Karosky has lived next door to the McCormicks for 4 years. She says the family kept to themselves. She also repeated something we've heard from other neighbors. They hardly ever saw Arabella or her two little sisters.
Only time I saw children there was when we first moved in 4.5 years ago. There were two little girls sitting on the stoop waiting outside. I assumed they were friends of visitors to the house, not that they live there, because I have never seen children playing, coming and going to school. I've never heard children.
There's still a lot we don't know, but it's not for a lack of trying. San Diego County officials won't give us a lot of answers. Child welfare services won't tell us anything about Arabella's or her younger sister's adoptions or where the younger girls are now. They also won't say whether they've ever received any reports of abuse since the girls were placed with Brian and Leticia McCormick. The sheriff's department acknowledged the homicide investigation, but also won't answer questions about possible child abuse to Arabella and her sisters. And the medical examiner won't say anything about Arabella or Brian McCormick's death, saying that those reports are sealed by, you guessed it, the sheriff's department. But we have talked to a number of people related to both the biological and adoptive parents and several neighbors. While we can't independently confirm this, here's what they've told us. Arabella and her sisters lived here in this house with Brian and Leticia McCormick since 2017. Their adoptions were finalized in 2019. Arabella and her sisters were all homeschooled. And the biological parents tell us they've been trying to get their girls back, but a caseworker told them they're not allowed to talk to us about their own case. The adoptive mother, Leticia McCormick, has been an important figure at the Rock Church for several years, serving as a ministry leadership program coordinator and was an ordained elder. However, the church says it's put that ordained status on hold. That's why a representative says that the church removed its leadership page immediately after Arabella's death for 2 weeks and then restored it with Leticia's bio removed.
Now, Leticia has not been charged in connection to Arabella's death. We've reached out to her several times, but we haven't heard back.
Breaking news. Please share this. Please share. Please share. Beep, 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 beep. Breaking news that the adopted trafficker, foster trafficker, federal agent, ordained minister, leader of the Rock Church, program coordinator, DHS husband commits suicide in front of cops. She's now been charged with murder, torture, starvation. Her parents have been charged also. Please share this. It's very important. Horrific. It doesn't stop. The horrificness. They got them all. The 71-year-old, 75-year-old Leticia, this ordained crap minister from the Crack Rock Church of San Diego with 19,000 weekly followers, and nobody wants to say anything about their parishioner, the little 11-year-old girl. Please share this. We're at Breaking San Diego, DHS, Homeland Security, Rock Church, Megachurch, child trafficking, child torture, 3 children murdered, beaten, starved by 4 people, the adopter, trafficker, foster quack, this ordained quack minister, Rock Church, 19,000 program coordinator, 19,000 followers every week, one of the largest mega churches in Southern California, super quacks. It's falling apart, people. Please, I need you to come in live, share this content. We're on fire over here, just broken up as that this goes on every single day and nobody does nothing. Where's the pastor? Why is he not saying nothing? They just arrested her 2 days ago, and her two parents, supposedly they're from San Bernardino. She's from San Diego. Torture, 6 child abuse reports, bruises all over all the children, all of them being starved, all of them being abused, tortured, beaten, all the children. That I'm limited for words. I need your commentary. Please let me know I'm not alone. That this is the front line. This is ground zero. That these DHS officials, where are they not talking? It's a DHS mega church, child trafficking, child torture, child drugging, child starvation, murder ring. That's what we're seeing here. Unglued right now. Just that this goes on and nobody does nothing. Nobody, no, there's not going to be an Arabella alert. The mother wants to annul the adoption. That's what we've heard. We're reaching out to her if we can get a hold of her. We'd love to bring her on. Just we need horns that are so loud, people. We need horns and sirens that are so freaking loud to ring the bell of Arabella. Her name is Arabella. Maybe that's what we freaking need. A freaking bell that rings so freaking loud. Everybody hears it and everybody knows exactly what the hell it means. Arabella. I think that's what we need, people. We need an Arabella, a bell in the air that rings like a loud siren for all the freaking children that are being trafficked, starved, murdered, tortured, beaten every single day in foster quack care. This blood is on all judges, all social workers, all pigs, all cops that commit treason every single day to get this quack stuff done. They're committing treason. That's the only way they can do this. It's treason. The mother had a domestic violence issue. Beautiful mother. Beautiful. The children were happy with them. Nobody's speaking up the way it needs to be. Come unglued, people. Need you to join in. Going to go to comments. Weirdos. Let them call them what they are. Weirdos. Weirdos. Child traffickers. Bless the babies. We need loud sirens. I'm still on it with my investigation. Thank you, Leonard. We see you out there. It's always same shit. Weirdos killing children. Beyond weirdos, it's everybody in the church. The whole church should be coming out. The whole church should be flowing out saying, there's something wrong here. Why did the pastor not talk about this? Why didn't he just at least say, we've lost one of our youngest parishioners, 11-year-old, tortured, and say that we're taking immediate action, and we can't say a lot now, but we mourn. At least let people know that we care. We care about dead children that are dying from the Rock Church, San Diego. Fire these people. Fire them all. Shut it down. Hold all cops accountable. That's the key. The cops are committing the treason. Oh, they're heroes now, right? Watching the DHS worker commit suicide in his car in front of them. Oh, they're heroes. Look at them. Let me see if I can bring that up here. I want to try to go back to that. But yeah, here's the mother, loving mother of San Diego. Found at 2 a.m. Brian McCormick, DHS worker. She's been charged with murder, starvation, torture. Her and her whole freaking family. It's a child traffic ring. They hear me here, people. They didn't take the kids from her after one was murdered. She had them for another third. This happened August 30. So September, October, almost 2.5 months. She's still trafficking the kids after she killed one, starved one. CPS couldn't take the kids immediately just for their safety while we investigate. And then you got these phony quack pastors, Rock Church, SD Rock. We need an Arabella. Oh man, we need a loud siren. I think I might go buy a loudspeaker tomorrow. They got a loudspeaker I can get, a very loud speaker, and we're gonna ring it like a siren of emergency for all children being trafficked in treasonous courts, committing treason, terminating rights without trials. Children never abused by the mother. It was a domestic violence case. That's what we're understanding. More stuff's coming in. This is her here, the ordained. Oh. Yeah. Now it's on people. Now the article, because it had the DH worker and he's already dead. So now, since we arrested the mother, now we see it on national news. But this gets even deeper. It's deeper, people. This is the Rock Church. Oh, they're doing stolen documentary. This is a front. This is a DHS front. This is a child traffic front. This is a money laundering front. This is a racketeering front off the children, trafficking children. The Rock Church was sponsoring the documentary. I even forgot about that. They got a documentary about the state of child trafficking in Rock Church. No, it's your freaking leader, your ordained minister, your program coordinator, Letitia. Yes, it's Letitia. Look at this, San Diego Rock Church. Oh, they got a freedom center for the child traffic victims. Well, they didn't even help the daughter, the sister, brother and sister. Get them out of there. Get them out. Oh my God, why are you leaving them with Letitia? You can't hide starvation. My God. They got a relief center for trafficked people, traffic teenagers and young adults, but they don't got nothing for her. Zero. So disgusted. Look at this. Support human trafficking. Survivors of human trafficking. This is the Rock Church. They got a freedom center. Yes, freedom for everybody but the 11-year-old that's being trafficked, beaten, starved, tortured, murdered, and her brother and sister. It's our understanding that they're all experiencing the same thing. Look at this freedom center staff. Here it is, documentary on sex trafficking children, San Diego. Oh yes, it's sell the mini skirts. Where's CPS there? No CPS? No, they go to some jail, dirty, sleazy. This is all marketing. It's all a marketing ploy. Sick perverts all over San Diego. That everyone's complicit. That's the way to get away with this. This is her here. They're here with their loving mother. Mother's trying to annul it. How can they continue? How can CPS continue to traffic the children? Shouldn't the pigs stand up and say, we're giving this lady her kids back? Shouldn't that what they should be saying? The cops? We're sorry. We made a big mistake. We're sorry we took her to CPS. We're sorry we terminated, we facilitated. The sheriffs are the ones running the courtrooms. The sheriffs are in the courtrooms. Oh, but they're there to hold a gun on the adopted trafficker while he's already dead in his car. Did you see that part? Did you see that part of the video? The sheriffs are running the child traffic ring. They're trying to play hero. They're responsible for this because she never committed a crime of abuse. She's never been charged with anything that we're aware of. And here we are. Here we are. She needed services. Targeted for all the evil deeds that were going on behind there too. So many more. But that's the documentary, Rock Church. They got a 4,000 square foot facility for trafficked children, but they didn't rescue her brother and sister, 6 and 9, 2 other siblings. There's three girls, I think, or 2 boys, 1 girl. I mean, two girls, 1 boy. But wow, just all over the place this evening because this case really hit home. We need a bell. We're going to get a bell for Arabella. What a day. Oh my God. The bell is going to sound loud. And because this just gets you all off your seat that these people and all these eyes on it, 19,000 members. You don't think the 19,000 parishioners know about this case? You don't think 20,000 weekly Christian quacks know about this case? Church is a fraud. All of it's a fraud. All the churches are a fraud. That's how they get away with this. There's no separation between church and state. Get it straight. It's the same freaking crap. Domination, ruling people, control, brainwashing. Who do you think wrote the Bible? Supposedly, King James, the dictator king. Yeah, a king wrote it. And all he cared about was people. It wasn't a saint. It's King James. So the Bible's being exposed. The people that follow this, what is the Bible holding them hostage from saying anything, from doing anything? 20,000 members, 19,000, 20, whatever it is, a week, go to this church. Largest Southern California mega church, ordained minister, program coordinator, Letitia McCormack, charged with murder of Arabella. They're DHS worker, child trafficking. What other things were they doing? What other things were they doing? How extensive is this child trafficking? Kind of more, I mean, if they're already torturing, starving, beating, what other things were they doing? What was this DHS guy doing? Why did he need to kill himself? 20-year veteran. We can't even get a picture of him. These are child traffic rings. What else can you say? just need you to come unglued for Arabella. Let's see here. I'm in the comments. A bell should ring like the Twin Towers. Wow, do they have a bell for Twin Towers? Yes, the police could stop it. They don't. They are responsible for it. The police are masterminds. Thank you. Masterminds, of course, they are a mastermind tool by the cabal, the Freemasonries that run this operation, the Freemason Mormons that are all littered throughout the judiciary, the Freemasons that are all littered in FBI, and they're all the agencies. We still have a lot of parents, they want their children back. That has crossed the border. Human Trafficking Task Force. Yeah. Evil CPS. Yeah. Hold the cops accountable, please. I need your help, people. Thank you, 12 viewers. It's very hard to get any viewership. Their censorship is extensive. It's never been worse. They're driving everything into the ground as we speak. The controllers, we showed you the hashtags that are banned on Facebook and Instagram, anything to do with child trafficking, what denomination, who knows, a rock church, ex-football player, mega church leader charged, San Diego, DHS doesn't need a front. They are the predators. Yeah, Homeland Security, Health and Human Services distributes all the checks. But this is on, this goes on every day. This is not, but this case has so many eyes on it. My God, you have Homeland Security. You have an ordained minister of one of the largest Southern California mega church program coordinators involved. You have her grandparents involved that are 70 and 75 years old. They've been charged with her mother, Letitia McCormack's father, is charged with murder. He's charged directly. She's not the mother of Letitia McCormack is not charged with murder, but Letitia is, and so is her daddy. Wow, I'm gonna let this video play. Please share this. Know who's doing it. Hold all the cops accountable. They're not stopping it. They're not stopping treason. They're not stopping kidnapping. The children are being taken by force and fraud. Let's get it straight. Force and fraud is how they get the kids. Force, fraud, treason, war crimes. That's how they get these children. And the cops are behind it. The cops are the breaker. They're if the cops weren't there, nobody's going to give up their kids. 97% of children are taken and there's no charges. Less than 3% of parents are ever charged with a crime. There's never any evidence of crimes in these traffic rings. It's narratives and what you can get away with. And it's all rigged. It's all freaking rigged. But look at this. Come on, people. This is the Rock Church. They're sponsoring a 4,000 square foot rescue place, doing documentaries, and they're not talking about CPS. It shows you how this is the bottom. I think this is the bottom of the barrel in regards to how high level. I don't know if you've seen a case like this, such high level with these high ranking people that aren't saying anything. They're really weird. Come unglued. Hold everyone accountable, specifically law enforcement, because they're committing treason. And they're not stopping this. There's no reason for all these children to be trafficked. Right here. This is her. I'm just going to let it play. I'll bring you the video. Just give me 2 minutes. I'll bring you the video of the arrest of Letitia. But for 2.5 months, they left the brother and sister with the trafficking, torturing, starving adopters. It wasn't enough, It wasn't her murder and starvation and torture and beating wasn't enough to not take all the kids pending. We've heard they just recently took them. Just recently. Oh, they're with more foster parents. They're being trafficked again. This is money, people. This is nothing wrong with this system. It's working. It's the ultimate war machine, money-making machine, pedophile machine, drugging machine. destruction of social fabric of our society machine. It's a fucking, excuse my language. Don't excuse my language. It's effing awesome. Killing machine, torture machine, rape machine, sodomization machine. That's what CPS is. And all the cops aren't fixing it. Everything's normal. Treason is natural. It's treason. Terminating mother's rights without a trial by jury. Period. All the speechless. Rolling.
Failed them. But if the adoption was finalized, would child welfare services have been involved?
And that's one of the biggest questions we've been trying to get the answer to. When was the last time the county had contact with the family and girls? And were there ever any reports of suspect
Last week, and since then, when we get this sick feeling in the pit of your stomach for stories like this, our viewers, our social media followers, all reached out, outraged, saying that child welfare failed them. But if the adoption was finalized, would child welfare services have been involved?
And that's one of the biggest questions we've been trying to get the answer to. When was the last time the county had contact with the family and girls? And were there ever any reports of suspected abuse? But again, the county is refusing to share any information with us about this case.
Well, we hope we can get some movement so we can find out the real story here. We appreciate you digging into it. Yeah.
Hopefully we do.
Yeah, thank you. As Alexis mentioned in the story, we maybe would have known.
Again, 4.5 years, child trafficking going on at that house, the church involved, church trafficking, church bonuses, church foster care agency, the Rock Church, her adopter trafficker. They're not mothers of anything. They're the female trafficker. She is a high-ranking part of the Rock Church in San Diego. Big cover-up here. The church, the leadership, the Border Patrol. 4.5 years, no contact. They wouldn't have no contact because she's adopted, and that's the whole bullshit of adoption, the black market. There we go, cops coming in. There we go. Like to see that. Okay, we're live here. Yeah, what does this case not have? We got U.S. Border Patrol. We got law enforcement. We got the ordained minister. We got the adoption, foster care, the loving mother stripped of her children.
Oh my God. I know y'all can hear me out there. It's Friday. It's called Get Busy Friday. There's always something to do on the big Friday. 10-2-1-2-2. Wow. Okay. I got new information coming in. I'm so upset that there's new information. We're finding that he's Border Patrol. He's a DHS agent, Department of Homeland Security, child killer, child trafficker, child torturer. She died of starvation and torture. And at 11, where's her other siblings? This is a child trafficking at the border. Hello. Come in. DHS. Now, breaking news. I just found this out. Let me just take you there. Let me just take you to what I'm looking at right now. And stand by. I need you to join with me and raise holy hell for this. Oh, how despicable. Every cop, every agent in San Diego, how could they be quiet on this? How could this president needs to speak? Oh, hold on. I need to show you what I'm looking at. Stand by. Just found this out.
We got federal.
He's DHS. He's a DHS agent. Stand by. He's Homeland Security. It even gets deeper than that. Hold up. Just found this out. Here's his LinkedIn profile. Brian McCormack, serial child child torturer, child murderer. Look at that. There he is there. You're looking at it as I see it. Just found this information just now. San Diego, Brian McCormack. He's a SPA agent at DHS. Now, understand what SPA is. Understand what DHS is. Understand what CBP means. California Border Patrol, United States Border Patrol, SPA at DHS. Oh, we're talking 20-year. Look at this. Look at this. Claims from 2003 to 19 years. SPA claiming to be a DHS agent for 20 years. Homeland Security for 20 years.
He's the highest ranking Department of Homeland Security agent possibly. Very high ranking, 20 years with DHS, Homeland Security, the border, child trafficking, torturing and murdering children, supposedly committing suicide. How much of it's real? How much of it's fraud? How much of it's a cover up for child trafficking? San Diego. Now we know why no news agency's covering this. He's a 20-year Homeland Security agent. But it even gets deeper. Stand by. Just found this out as well. Stand by. There's more information. This is the biggest case in the United States involving a 20-year Department of Homeland Security Border Patrol federal agent trained to kill, trafficker, murderer. Hold on. This is fascinating to learn that he's a 20-year killer, 20-year experience with all those federal agencies, but so very high ranking. We need a picture of him. Anyone have a picture? Send it in, please. Now you're looking at service provision assessment. This is what he claims 20 years experience in. DHS SPA, which is service provision assessment. It's a health facility survey, collects information on service availability, quality of care within a county's health system. Oh my God, I can't figure all this out. This is DHS. This is deep shit. Wow, just you're seeing it as I see it, that he's responsible for the quality and care within a county's health system. Now, how much insight does DHS and this agent have into CPS, into foster care, into adoption? What is going on here? Okay, SPA methodology. SPA are fielded by teams made up of interviewers, healthcare workers, National Statistics Organization, interviewers, service planning area. Okay, but let's just stick with this SPA. He claims on his LinkedIn, claims 20-year DHS agent, Border Patrol agent. Here it is, SPA. This is why they're not covering it. They don't want you to figure out what the hell they're doing. Look at this, service provision assessment, health facility survey. DHS and their I think it would show the deep connection between DHS, foster care, adoption, how they're treating kids. Focus on the antenatal ANC care, family planning, maternity care, sick child services, quality of care measures. And this isn't just for border kids. This SPA provisional assessment to gauge the quality of services is not just for foster care. Look at provision of care, experience of care, physical resources, structure, the process, availability of specific services. Oh, here we go. SPA was redesigned in 2022. Collaboration of experts. Here we go. Oh, World Health Organ, boom, boom. UNICEF, boom, boom. Ministries, got them all in there. Ooh, all the child traffickers. Ministries of Health, the SPA indicator, child health, antenatal health care, delivery, newborn care, family plan. Oh, family planning. Yes, plan the family, malaria, nutrition, health care. This isn't DHS. This is about for American children. This applies to American children. And how CPS and foster care, adoption, how all of them run. Imagine that. Imagine that. There it is. You see it. SPA, DHS. Let me go back. Again, this is the SPA definition, DHS program. Brian McCormick claims to be a 19-year veteran. Here's his LinkedIn. This is why we don't get any coverage. This is why there's only one news agency in San Diego covering this. There's your boy, San Diego, Brian McCormick. 2003 to present, you're looking at a 20-year, clearly the highest ranking Southern California child trafficker, child abuser, child torturer. I think it's clear without question. We're right there that this is a sex traffic ring of children with this case, because the 3 kids, no one ever seen at the house. Nobody knew they were there. There's claims that the minister of Rock Church, the wife of Brian McCormack, the claimed killer, that she took the kids to church. But outside of that, nobody seen the kids at the house ever. It's impossible unless there's horrific abuse going on and trafficking, especially by somebody who claims to be a minister. And then you have this guy and his claimed 20 years experience, but he's claiming 20 years experience with SPA. Like he's the heart and soul of the Department of Homeland Security and how they treat American and foreign, how they treat anybody. And he's so, it's just, you can't, nothing. Wow, there it is. McCormack. We need a picture of him. Somebody send us a picture, please. How's his wife still free? She watched the child get starved and tortured, said they all have eating disorders. It's their mothers. That's why we care for them, because they got eating disorders. Any comments? I'll take a comment. Is anyone seeing what I'm seeing? Time, San Diego, posted in arts.
Okay, just pausing it right there. Again, child trafficker, ordained minister, program coordinator, 20,000 member weekly, Southern California megachurch leader, Letitia McCormack, charged murder, torture, starvation of 11-year-old trafficked girl. They had 3 of them. She's 11. Sisters are 6 and 9. 6, 9, 11. This is her here, little girl, starved. They said she had an eerie personality, and that she was covered with bruises, and that 6 reports to CPS. Nobody did anything to the child traffic ring. That's who runs these operations. CPS, DHS. They're all there. It's a match made in heaven and hell. No, it's a match made in hell. I'm sorry. Excuse me. It's a perfect war machine. DHS, CPS, federal government, Border Patrol, public safety, sheriff's department. They're all in on it. This is across the board. Child trafficking in your face. There's nothing else to do. Nothing else needs to be explained. So many cases like this, one after another. These pictures are just coming in. Again, the mother wants to annul the adoption, get her kids back. They're re-trafficking them. They trafficked her 3 siblings, her 2 siblings. There's 3 of them. Nobody knew they were in the house. None of the neighbors. They charged Letitia's father with murder. He's in on it too. Please, people, help us. I'm so emotional tonight. I can't. This case, because when people say that things happen for a freaking reason, don't give me that crap. A reason, there's no reason. This isn't reason. This has nothing to do with reason. I don't think there's no reasoning here of how this is happening. I can't find reason. People say, "Oh, things happen for a reason." I can't find a reason here. There's reasoning. Here's latest picture. That's probably the latest one. She died at the hospital. Picked up at 2 a.m, August 30th, 2 a.m. Oh, she's dying. 2 a.m. Who called? Letitia said the one that said they had an eating disorder. She's an ordained minister, program coordinator for the Rock Church. Then they want to re-traffic the kids. There's no mention of them ever taking the kids from her after she killed Arabella. They left the other 2 there that we're aware of. There's no mention of any other children, just till recently. Again, breaking news. As of 2 days ago, Letitia McCormack, program coordinator, Rock Church, Megachurch, San Diego, charged with murder, starvation, torture of Arabella. This is her, their loving mother, caught up with CPS. Her rights were violated. They committed treason. She's a member, or has some bloodline of the Indian tribe there in San Diego. No help there. Nobody's speaking up. No, the way it needs to be, of who's doing this. There's more information coming in. Now it's world news. Now it's world news. It wasn't world news until she gets arrested. Now they want to market it on People Magazine, Daily Mail. I mean, it was a big case from the get-go. But now they're charging her with murder, and they are mentioning the DHS, some of them, but now it's national news. It wasn't national news of a DHS 20-year veteran killing himself in front of sheriffs at the in San Diego. That wasn't news. That wasn't national news. I'm trying to find that picture, that video of him committing suicide in front of sheriff's officers. But to hold all law enforcement accountable, everybody. This is on everybody's hands. This is a war. It's the epitome of a war. It's a war. So it's state of emergency, national state of emergency, one side or the other, and there's no gray area. This is Back Humanity. BackHumanity.com, CPSNewsNetwork.com. I'm in the comments. It won't let me share. Interesting. Why do they do this? Oh, it's money for sex. They like sex with children. They like to drug the children. They like all the money that comes in. They like all the problems it causes. It's a war machine. That's why they do it. How do you want to make, what's better to make money than off innocent children and their blood and their rape and their sodomy and their molestation and their starvation and their torture? There's no greater way to make money for the Bar Association, all the cops that play hero when some foster kid drugged out, ages out and snaps. This is great. 25 people making money. Nancy Schaefer said it's 25 extended worker that need the blood. They need the Bar Association. They need the lawyers. They need the lawsuits. They need the prisoners. They need the unplanned pregnancies. They need the domestic violence. My God. This is great. It's working perfectly, never broken. If you think of the most extreme, egregious way to terrorize a society, make money, and get your perverted kicks off it too, you're going to look at CPS. Civil courts, no trial by jury, narratives, not evidence. Civil courts, they're giving children civil courts for criminal child abuse cases. Civil courts. I mean, it's like a trust, a deed, a piece of property. A negotiation disagreement. These civil courts. Isn't that what they're supposed to be for? That's a civil matter. That's a marriage, getting a divorce. Wow. So beautiful picture of Arabella coming in. That we haven't seen, and it's probably one of the last pictures of her. And yeah, pretty much speechless, because we just got this information again. Letitia, ordained minister, charged murder. Let me see here. Stand by. Now it's national news. Let's talk about it. But there's so much more here. My God, this video really covers it. This video really covers the whole gamut. It's case closed. There she is right there. That's Rock Church. But the Rock Church is sponsoring fighting human trafficking, and they're survivors. Are they going to support Arabella's brother and sister? I think they were all girls. Excuse me. It's 3 girls, I'm pretty sure. Are they going to look at the Rock Church, the ordained minister, the program coordinator? She had it all. There it is. Everything. Look, the Rock Church. They do a documentary on. It all came out at the same time. Look, Rock Church to host a stolen documentary, Child Trafficking San Diego, on August 2nd, 28 days, 4 weeks later. What do we got? 4 weeks later, we got the ordained Minor program coordinator, child trafficking, torturing, and murdering children. How much of a hand did she have? How much of a hand? This is a good one here. Program coordinator, right? Do you think she was program coordinating this? And that's why they're so quiet? She had her hands all over this. She was coordinating the human trafficking survivor center. Was that where? Come on. Why are they so quiet at the Rock Church? Are they going to have a funeral there at the Rock Church for her? It took them 2 months to arrest the program coordinator. There she is. Ordained minister, husband, tortures and murders child. This is her here. I'm going to let the video play. Stand by. See if we got a caller. Okay. Go ahead, caller. Talk to us.
Can you hear me good?
Clear. Go ahead.
Tell me, Danny, are you surprised?
No, we called a lot of this out, but it gets deeper. It just keeps getting deeper, and I'm scared to go any deep. It's like, how much more deeper can it go?
Hey, come on. You're not surprised. You've been saying this shit for how many years?
No. Well, this case and Letitia,
the case is just like lays it out for everything on every level of everything that you and I and other people have been saying for at least the last 10 years, other people before us for the last 10 years before that. This shit is so fucking obvious. Are you surprised?
I hate it's hard to accept the obvious. You don't want to accept the obvious. The obvious.
It's obvious
of what was happening to the three little girls that were all together, 6, 9, 11.
Your kids to my kids to all these kids in between. These 3 little girls or whoever this has been happening to is just the poster children of what's been happening to these children. Thousands, hundreds of thousands of them for God knows, for however many years, forever. You said it. I said it. Carla Johnson said it. Who else said it? We all said it.
The kidnapping.
This is right there in your fucking face. Anybody who wants to deny any of it, but you weren't at this point. You weren't. There was a point you were surprised. There was a point I was surprised when this happened with my kids. I was surprised. What surprised me is when I had all the paperwork and the evidence, and nobody gave a shit. The same way when you had the evidence and everything that nobody gave a shit, that surprised you. But you weren't surprised at this point. This shit's been going on for fucking ever. And these motherfuckers need to not only stop, we need to stop them, and they need to pay for it.
Just as we talk about it and the depths of this case, we just get sharper and sharper as how we focus on it and zero in on it and call it out for what it is, and how you have a totally paralyzed church system that is.
This one is the one where no matter what anybody says in their little world of denial, you can just throw that case in their face. It doesn't matter what they say. It's got everything in it. You throw that up and say, okay, read that. You want to give us an excuse? Read that. There it is, right there. Tell me your excuses. They're so full of goddamn excuses. And everybody, it must be, you're just blah, 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 fucking blah. This is the one case that's got everything in it. No matter what they say, there it is. Boom.
It's treason. We have
That shit.
it's treason. We have silence of the church leader, mega church, rock church leader. His silence. The law enforcement did do some videos. I'm trying to find those now as we speak.
There's a worse crime than treason. It's called pedophilia. There's
Yeah,
a worse
well,
crime.
treason is it allows it.
Yeah.
The treason is the ultimate breaking point that allows everything else to flourish, and that all law enforcement.
That breaks all the treason breaks all your little social ties, but the harming of these children is even above that, and so it takes the treason to fucking wake up the people to the worst crime. Okay, whatever it takes, but you know, there is no denial. There is fucking no denial. Anybody that denies it needs to be fucking poked in the eyes and fucking woke up.
Clear. It's all about the law enforcement has the power in their hands to stop it. The
they
chief
got the fucking guns. They got more guns than we got. They got radios.
I'm
got
saying
the
that. Listen. Everybody views law enforcement differently now in the last 5 years, and there is a turning point. We've seen, it's a different game, and they're under a microscope all the time, and to focus on this issue of the treason, there's no due process. How can you take a child and put him into a civil property court? Probate. It's a property court.
Right.
It has nothing to do with health and human services. It's we got your birth certificate. We can say whatever we want. We can commit treason. We can kidnap.
Yeah. You're talking about taking about people's constitutional rights, which any other fucking right that you have taken away from you there has to be a crime involved, except when it comes to your children, because they want to be heroes.
Yeah, that preventative maintenance program.
I like that. I like that idea.
Yeah. Okay. Again, the case is going national now, and they are bringing in the mega church. They're calling her a mega church leader with the largest 19,000 member a week congregation, San Diego. They're focusing on her now. Now it's national news. Before, only one news agency that we could find covered this, and that was NBC. Outside of that, there was no other.
You do understand what made that a mega church is all the little supporters. And people don't just go support people because everybody else is. There was insiders that knew those people personally, that knew the insides and outsides of their lives and how they fucking lived their lives and what they believed in and what they were doing, that lofted them up. That whole fucking church needs to be responsible, and that whole community needs to be held responsible, which means our entire nation, our society needs to be held responsible, and we fucking better do it now before it even gets worse.
We want the children, the remaining two, to be returned back to the mother, to annul this phony adoption. We want the cops to stand by the mother. We want the cops to do the right thing and come out and speak and say never again in our community will we take children without criminal charges. That's if we can't get that, we can't get nothing. But that doesn't seem too much to ask. Mandatory criminal charges for any child in this case.
You can't see me, Danny. You can't see me right now, but I got my fist in the air for you, saying power to the people, back humanity.
Clear. Yes, yeah, we're taking it all the way to keep, the forces of good and bad. I had a bad dream last night, and it really shook me to my core. I've never had a dream like that, and I don't know why I had it, but it had to do with infants and death and fire and a car crash and me having to deal with it like a fireman or ambulance worker, and it shook me to my core. And that was a dream.
Hey,
I don't know what.
I got a question for you. Who? Because I think you're going to come up with the same answer in your head. Who is the fucking U.S. Supreme Court judge that comes to your mind that you can think of their name?
Yeah. I don't know.
Which one?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like to think about them. I don't think about them very much. I've gave them all my thought, and that's what they want.
Let's throw this name up there, Clarence Thomas, right? You know Clarence.
That would be the first one to come to my mind, Clarence.
Okay, excellent. We're calling out to you, Clarence Thomas, right now. If you are not a child predator, Clarence Thomas, U.S. Supreme Court Justice of the United States, if you are not a child predator, you will fucking act on this.
I think
I'm calling up Clarence Thomas right now.
Yeah, my issue, what we're finding again is that Letitia, being the program coordinator, she could have been heavily involved in this child trafficking front operation run by the church, trying to pretty, there's no help. There's no that program coordinator. I almost have no doubt that she was involved in this family freedom center for child traffic victims and a place for them and describing it and nothing, but here you have,
Here's the words. This is a quote. This is a phrase that they use. Knew or should have known. Knew or should have known. They knew or should have known. And, if you didn't know but you should have known, you're just as fucking responsible.
Okay, yeah. Charles says if people cared, this stopped happening, but it's obvious nobody cares. Thank you. It is clear that nobody does care, and they're more concerned about appeasing the system because they're usually part of it or have family members heavily involved in it, and they don't want to go against those people, whether it's law enforcement, social workers, people that run the courts, judges. They're cowards.
Right. And there's one person who we should not forget in here who maybe time has lost, but maybe they haven't, and that's Jody Herring.
Clear. Yeah, we possibly have another murder of a social worker at a hospital in Texas. Jacqueline.
I'm sorry I laughed. Go ahead.
No, we're clear. But yeah, he mentioned Jody Herring. She was on psychotropic meds for about 2 weeks to a month, and that makes you lose.
They took her kids, so she did what she should have done.
Well, she's drugged. She was drugged, and it pushed her over the edge. Again, Jody Herring, her final statements to the court were, I had to listen to these people talk about their daughter, social worker that was murdered, and I know what it's like to lose a child. I know they took my child. I know exactly what the parents and family of that social worker went through and felt because I lost my child.
I admire that bitch to the end of my days. I admire that woman.
Clear. So, I just want to inspire people. I'd
love to have her as my mother.
Clear.
Jody Herring.
I just want to inspire people and try to make something out of the war and of the all the other. There's a time to sound the bell. We're asking for donations. I put the donation link up there. We want a loudspeaker. We want to create one of the loudest speakers ever created that puts on a siren, just like a war, that we are under war, that we're in a state of war. I don't know if anyone could tell that. We've been under a war, and everyone should be able to see it now, clearly. No matter how comfortable you think you are. I mean, get your shot or you're not going to work.
Nothing matters. Nothing else matters before. This is fucking primary. This is the fucking ultimate fucking only thought we should have. But it's not like we're at war. We are at war.
Clear. We're in a war in a lot of other areas as well. And we need a bell, the siren. Bring back, remember the nuclear bomb bells, those whistles?
Yeah.
We want to sound a bell, and maybe we'll. I don't know. I got a good idea.
All I got to say is for the people out there that think we need to negotiate, for those people out there that are sitting on the fence thinking we need to hear both sides, that we need to discuss things, that those people need to fucking wake up. Okay, there is no negotiation terrorists, but with child predators.
Okay, again, yeah, focusing on the remedy, we're looking for law enforcement to stop taking kids unless there's criminal charges and quit delivering them to a child traffic, torture, murder ring, drugging, the war machine. Stop delivering them. Stop trying to, stop, because they had the power to do it. I think that as well as foster traffickers, anyone out there trafficking children in foster care, you're part of this war machine and you facilitate it. No matter how great you of a job you think you do, you're part of it. You harbor children. Again, 97% of child CPS kidnappings, there's no crime. There's no evidence of a crime. They're terminating parental rights without a trial. A serial killer is going to get a trial. He's going to in the public. So see it all for what it is. It's black and white. It's birth certificate fraud, child trafficking, money laundering, big pharma, social worker industry, the bar association, the judge. They're all evil. All of them allow this to complicitly be run. I got off the phone with a friend in family court, giving me a hearing, kept making excuses. The states are funded trafficking. DHS releases all those checks. Department of Homeland Security. It's just no. Department of Health and Human Services. Trying to speak quickly. We see we have some viewers. It's very difficult to get viewership. We are excited. This is breaking point as we approach Thanksgiving. What a great way to remember Arabella. This case, if we can't do something with this case to stop, there's so many more cases, but this case it involves so much because of the length of time they had them, the homeschooling, the 6 reports to CPS, the starvation, the again, ordained minister, program coordinator, Rock Church, San Diego, charged with murder. Her husband committed suicide in front of the sheriffs. What were they really doing with the kids? Okay, you better get it straight. What were they doing with the kids? And I think it gets so much more evil than just starvation, torture, and beatings. That it gets worse. And they continue to do this. Let's try to get this mother her kids back. Reach out to us, CPS News Network inbox. Let's bring her picture back up here. Again, we think that the ordained minister, program coordinator, Rock Church was involved in the San Diego Freedom Center from Rock Church. We think she was. That's why they're so quiet on it. She was probably the program coordinator of this whole operation right here, the human trafficking thing. They're part of. It's a child. These people are put there for a reason. They're positioned to traffic. They're positioned to market. They're positioned to lie and create a human trafficking survivors center with 4,000 square feet, intake, counseling. Did they take in the 2 sisters of Arabella? Did they take in that were beaten and starved and tortured as well as Arabella? There's Arabella here. Did they take her in? Are they doing anything? You got to see the shooting. I don't know why it's not on this video where the guy kills himself. DHS. What? I mean, this is some intense video. Again, we feel that Letitia, that was charged with murder, could have very well had her hand in directing and program coordinating this stolen documentary event. And that's why they're so silent, because she was a key figure in the creation of the boogeyman in jail, calling to try to traffic a girl, and the rich businessman who's getting the 15-year-olds for sex. And the whole, nothing about CPS, nothing about foster care, nothing about adoption, just a front. The stolen documentary, and it's at the Freedom Center. What? Again, law enforcement has the power to stop this. I need to get their picture in there. Stand by. Law enforcement has the power to really put the brakes on this, to stop trafficking kids unless there's a criminal charge. Cut out all your bullshit. What we're finding is that law enforcement is their leadership. It's the leadership. If I was a chief of some area, I'd say, no, we're not taking nobody's kids. Where's the evidence?
No, no. You tell that civil judge that we're humans over here. That's what you do. You tell the judge that we are human. Go back and, we're not going to accept your judge's order for child trafficking. The judges that write up all this phony crap, these phony civil court judges and these phony robes that people claim are honorable. There's nothing honorable anywhere. Again, right here, law enforcement, these are them. These are the ones that take the kids. These are the collectors. These are the gun points. These are the false arrests. These are the ones that'll say you're kidnapping. These are the ones that'll fabricate a case against you. These are the ones that'll commit treason. None of this could be done without the phony police agencies. They're not enforcing the law. They're enforcing the cabal, the Freemasons, the Mormons, the Jews. Those are very powerful entities. And when I say that, I don't mean everybody. I mean just the leaders of those agencies, the leaders that have the big money, that don't say anything. You can tell who's in on all this child trafficking that don't say anything. They're all silent, whether it's cops, Freemasons, Mormons, the Jews. When I say Jews, I don't mean everybody. It's just the leaders. Just the leaders, the most powerful people. That's who runs CPS, child traffic rings, is the most powerful people in the world. It's $100 billion a year industry. We calculate that 500,000 in foster care at 200,000 a year per child, given to the states to launder off the blood and trafficking of children. Megan Walsh's case out of Florida, it's, the most epidemic case you can find of John Walsh, the quack, with 600 million images of child porn at his national center, missing and exploited. And he won't tell us how many are foster kids, how many were adopted children. They know the numbers. It's very high. It's 80% all child porn, all child sex trafficking is foster adopted children. He won't tell us. They don't list foster children on his website, at least not the 800 from Los Angeles. The spell it all out. We try to do it very quickly and succinctly here. Megan Walsh, again, her case, Florida, her child trafficker, fraud, all the stuff in delusion. We're in a delusioned world with National Center, phony. Until you get very direct and that there's no room for error here. There's no gray area. They all know. Everybody knows where the child porn and child trafficking is coming from. 80% foster care adoption. If it's 80% child trafficking, and they always say they came from. No, they're in there. They're newborns. They rape newborns the same day they get them in the same city, San Diego. Look it up. San Diego pediatrician rapes newborn foster child with the leg tag still on its leg, and he's sending the images to some person in another state. That's San Diego. Lutz, Lutz. Look him up. Lutz, pediatrician. Lutz, foster child trafficker, rapist, porn producer. Newborns. Nothing happened there. We had friends of ours all the way. They were knocking on doors in San Diego. I mean, what's it? How high is your blood? How much can you take? That's what they want. This is full on war, full on trauma, full on abuse, full on torture, full on, and nobody wants to deal with it. Yeah, keep giving it to them. If you think evil and you think wicked and you think like these people, you know exactly how they think. Keep feeding it to them. They're so stupid, they'll take it. They've been taking it for 30, 40 years now. They're going to take it. They're going to be so freaking traumatized by having to deal and look at this stuff that they're not going to want to deal with it. It's much easier to ignore it. So much easier. John Walsh exposed. Foster kids, drugged foster kids, serial killers. It's what? Oh, he killed 19. Did he really? Did he call an Uber? You ever heard of a serial killer of 20 people at a high school walking around with a
a gun on his back and a rifle and getting a Uber ride, going to McDonald's and Subway. You ever hear any story like that? The stories. They use foster kids. They use them for events. On and on. Man, really tired. This one video, one time should be enough. And, I could retire after this. One video, one time. The way I'm talking about this, the way trying to spell it out, that and how black and white it is, and who's responsible, and where the weakest points of the system are. And it's with law enforcement, a lot of it, and the foster traffickers, to get them out of the business, stop foster trafficking. There's nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. We know what you're doing. And you're harboring children. You're bringing drug children to our area, Helen. Helen, those kids are abused children. They're giving them psychotropic meds. What about my little girl, Jenny? You think I want my little girl, Jenny, around a bunch of drugged out, abused foster kids? Get these people. We want foster-free areas across the nation. Zones of cities, counties, states that have outlawed foster care as we know it. We want Nancy Schaefer resource centers nationwide, club-fed resorts, highly supervised facilities of the resorts. They're the most beautiful places you could ever be, and they're for healing. You can't heal when you're being trafficked to a stranger, and you're supposedly been abused. You're going to a stranger's house that stinks, doesn't smell like anything where you came from. These people are weird. They're looking at me weird. They're doing things to me that are weird. That's foster care. Freaking Twilight Zone. Wow. This baby here, 3-week-old baby, Legend Young, claimed runaway, Los Angeles. Cognitive dissonance. They're listing foster kids as runaways in Los Angeles, missingkidsla.org. The kid's 3 weeks old, and he can sit up in a walker. So basically they're saying that he's running away in his walker, right? He's a runaway. But again, they're bringing children from all around the world. They're giving them socials and birth certificates, and they're just creating accounts to launder money. And who knows what they did with this child? No one knows. No one will know. 3-week-old baby listed as a runaway. He ran away in his walker, but you can tell that he's older than 3 weeks there. Anything goes. That's how they rule. Anything goes. Tell me. Anything goes. Pretty speechless here. Yeah, there's no division between church and state. They're birds of a feather, and they flock together. We want churches to dump their 501c3s and stop bullshitting us. Stop playing the part. You don't need to launder money with your 501c3 status. There is no separation between church and state because the churches have a direct contract with the government. Let's see here. Just have some good imagery. But, know your rulers. Know who rules the roost. Know why everything's unstable. Know why inflation's hyper. Know why there's all sorts of things to doomsday about. Know your masters. Why 4,000 men went to a party and there's no children or women there? Why is there no children and women at the 300-year anniversary for the Freemasons? I think it's over there in Scotland or the UK, United Kingdom somewhere. Why there's no women there? This is the largest celebration in 300 years for these people that print the money out of thin air. I hate to say it, but there's no time to be stupid anymore. Your vote, it doesn't matter. Nothing. That's not going to get you nowhere. Your vote. I can't understand what people would possibly be voting for a so-called candidate for. Everything's rigged. Everything's a fraud. Everything's inserted, controlled, dominated. It's wow. Wow. I think I'm gonna let the video play. Stand by. Let's see where it went. Here.
Claims to be a minister. And then you have this guy. And his claimed 20 years experience, but he's claiming 20 years experience
with SPA. Like he's the heart and soul of the Department of Homeland Security and how they treat American and foreign, how they treat anybody. And he's so, it's just, you can't, nothing. Wow, there it is. McCormack. We need a picture of him. Somebody send us a picture, please. How's his wife still free? She watched the child get starved and tortured, said they all have eating disorders. It's their, their mothers. That's why we care for them, because they got eating disorders. Any comments? I'll take a comment. Is anyone seeing what I'm seeing? Time, San Diego, posted in arts. Listening. Thank you, Evelyn. I'm so emotional this morning. Just on a cup of coffee and getting into this deeper and why it's not being covered. Posted in Arts Rock Church to host stolen. Interesting. We're going to look into that. Man, we appreciate your commentary. We see you, Susie. Here we are here. Yeah, we want to know why the Rock Church is not coming forward. Oh, wow. Oh, this is, see how they're all working together? DHS, Border Patrol, Homeland Security, CPS, the cops, the ministers. I mean, you got a all-star lineup. Wow. Putting the spotlight. Where's the trafficking happening? And that is claimed, that lots of finger pointing that it's the border kids. Wow, great information. You have no idea how priceless this information is. Just coming in. Stolen, documentary, sex trafficking, San Diego. See, August 4th, I think that the child was murdered around September, maybe right around the same time. But who is this Brian McCormack? And we just found he's a DHS agent. That's why no news agency. That's why it's not on CNN. That's why it's not in People Magazine. That's not why it's not on the Daily Mail. I mean, type in her name, Arabella McCormack. Why the church took down her profile from their church, the Rock Church San Diego. She was an ordained minister, the wife of the murderer. They're both trafficking. They both are responsible for her murder. Brian McCormack, DHS agent. You see it there, peeps. Get rid of that screen. Let's see here. Thank you for that information on stolen. We got to check into that. What they're really doing down there, San Diego. It's a hub. They don't want the spotlight on the hub. They don't want the spotlight on the church. They don't want the spotlight on the DHS and how he's a 20-year DHS agent. And that these kids, so we covered it. Where are the kids now? Give them back to the mom. Somebody get their head out of their behind. There's no good cops in San Diego. There's no good pastures in San Diego or in California. If you can't find people that aren't on top of this crap and pointing it out and saying something for these children, they're no good. They all got to go. All of them got to go. It's very simple. That there's no good anywhere in California, across the nation, and just a bunch of doublespeak, bullshit coming out of people's mouths about being some agency or leader with an agenda to help children, when these are the most horrifically abused and nobody's there to help them. Zero. There should be protests at Rock Church. There should be protests at the police department. There should be calls for resignations, for not speaking up, for waiting, for being quiet. And when I mean being quiet, they could have at least said something. These people, hold on, we got images coming in. These people could have at least came out and said something. For Arabella specifically, here it is, the ordained minister. Let me get rid of that banner. The ordained minister, married to a DHS 20-year veteran, trafficking 3 children, torturing 3 children, murdering one of the 11-year-olds, starved, tortured to death, says coroner. This pervert here, she's probably a sex traffic victim herself too. This is a very intense case coming out of San Diego that we're just uncovering as we find new information that a 20-year DHS veteran murdered this poor little girl, and that the pastor and everybody is silent. This pastor, oh, come help my wife. She got breast cancer. Come donate to my wife. We need some money for my wife. She got the breast cancer. Come on now. Bring in the money. Put the plate out there. Oh, but when it's Arabella, everybody just shut up. Everybody shut up. Don't say anything. Take her off the website. I'm not going to say nothing. Yes, she used to come to church here, and now she's murdered by our minister. Our minister facilitated, watched her starve. Never let her go outside like a normal child outside of her house for 4 years. No neighbor knew that these are the pervs that are running the churches. There's Brian McCormick, DHS agent, 20-year DHS agent. Is he really a 20-year DHS agent? If he's a 20-year DHS agent, I mean, we're talking, he's very high level, because DHS was founded, I'm pretty sure, right around 2003. You could quote me. DHS was founded after 9/11, and he's one of the early. He's been around forever. He's a kingpin. DHS, child trafficker, child torturer, child murderer, getting paid by the federal government, being trained by the federal government. This is Brian McCormick. Get his LinkedIn. There he is. Go look it up. Brian McCormick. Border Patrol, California Border Patrol, United States Border Patrol, DHS, highest level highest level government agent responsible. I mean, he's even responsible for SPA. I'm going to give you the definition of SPA. SPA, these are all just fraudulent agencies, but they're child trafficking and they're fronts. Okay, stand by. We got more information coming in. Okay, yeah, San Diego, come in, Leonard. Stand by. We're going to bring Leonard on. What a great Friday. But yeah, get those voices fired up. Fire up those motors. Get things pumping there. Stand by. We're going to try to bring, you just got to click the link. Tell us what San Diego's like. I don't know. Border agents, propaganda, where it's really happening. Stand by. Put that in the comments. Well, wait till this coffee kicks in. Hold on a sec. Oh, yeah, there you are. Okay. We'll take a caller, Leonard. San Diego, come in. Tijuana, come in. Yeah, CPS News Network live Sunday. I'm sorry, not Sunday.
Saturday. Wow, what a beautiful day. Starting out the day, but just some people never had a chance to start out the day, to even start out their life. Just a very touching case.
Okay, yeah, touching. Wow. Again, to highlight what's going on here. 2 days ago, Letitia McCormack, wife of 20-year veteran DHS Homeland Security Border Patrol agent, adopted mother of 3 little girls, 6, 9, 11, charged murder, 11-year-old Arabella McCormack, taken from her mother over domestic violence claims by CPS. horrifically starved, tortured, and murdered. And you can put every other little dirty thing in there too. You know the underbelly. It just, as much as no, we wouldn't want to. We know where it's going. We know the depths of the depravity of these people that do this. You have her Letitia here, the picture you see here. You have her father being charged with murder. He's 75 years old. He's being charged with murder. She's being charged with murder. Her DHS Border Patrol 20-year veteran husband committed suicide in front of the sheriff's department in San Diego. Being charged for murder of an 11-year-old little girl, trafficked. And now she's safe with other foster traffickers. It's so horrific that it continues. We have to demand that her children be given back to her. The remaining two little girls, enough is enough. It didn't work, and that she be given reparations for war crimes against her. Anyone whose parental rights are terminated without a trial is a war crime. It's treason. They're treating children as pieces of paper, as a car, as a house, it's a tangible asset when you give them a birth certificate, because that's what they're so hungry for. It's like a title, a pink slip. They want the pink slip for your children. They want that birth certificate. That's what it comes down to. That they only have rights to that certificate itself and not the blood and flesh of the child. In all intents and purposes, the civil courts only have rights to the certificate, not to the child, to the piece of paper, not to the freaking child. They're claiming ownership of the blood, the flesh. War crimes, treason, money laundering, racketeering. Comment. Yeah. Wow, what a great day. What a beautiful smile. Just trying to hold it together. Getting fuel from Arabella. Again, breaking news. Program coordinator, Rock Church, charged, murder, 11-year-old Arabella, San Diego, August 30th. Torture and abuse of the other children. 3 children in the house. Nobody knew they were there. They're being trafficked for money. They're being sold. These children were sold. They were being trafficked, abused. Trying to go to the video. Just really screwed me up here. Well, who would want to change that picture? You know, that picture there in the middle. Again, Rock Church, program coordinator, ordained minister, charged with murder. There's one more thing I wanted to play here. Stand by. It's here.
Very impactful. The beauty and the spark of the child snuffed out by federally funded agents, federally funded child trafficking, federally funded churches, federally funded adoptions, federally funded agents. What else is federally funded? We have new information coming in. Stand by. I have something very interesting here. This is why no news agency is covering this case. We just found this. Right here, San Diego. Okay, put a cookie on there. There it is, Rock Church. Okay, that Rock Church is going to host a documentary. I don't know. A viewer just sent this in yesterday that Rock Church is hosting a documentary on sex trafficking of children specifically in San Diego County. How could all this happen at one time? Arabella was murdered right around the same time they're launching this documentary. I'm just in shock. A viewer came on and posted a link that they were hosting this whole video thing, and I'm just finding it. And it's the Rock Church. Just get an image up there, make sure you guys see. You're not seeing what I see. There it is. I'm sorry. There you go. Rock Church host stolen documentary. So just total puke here this morning. I mean, it's total. I mean, this is just the epitome of evil, wickedness, timing of events. Why was her life taken at this time? Why was her life taken after 4.5 years of torture and then he commits suicide? Why were they hosting this documentary and the murder happens about the same time? There's no mention of DHS. He claims to be working for DHS for 20 years, so he's like, you can't go any higher. We're going to try to find this Rock Church child trafficking. Again, the pastor that we're aware of is failing to speak about the murder of one of his parishioners. Yes, the adopted child was going to church supposedly, and now she's murdered by the church's program coordinator, ordained minister program coordinator, Letitia. And then, so very creepy that we find this. Man, we thank you, poster out there, who sent us the information that this was going on. And this is why the church pastor doesn't have anything to say about the child, doesn't have anything to say about child trafficking, doesn't have any. This is just ultimate perversion, but it's complicity with the cops to be silent, the pastor to be silent, all these so-called protectors. But where's the people out there? Do you live in a zombie freaking city? Are you more concerned about your property values and your crime rates than you are about the children? Clearly, there's a zombie effect going on in San Diego. Just a creep show of fake people, fake zombies, this is Halloween. You're looking at Halloween in a real life Halloween. These people that are running these operations and starving and torturing and murdering children, ordained ministers that pastors that stay silent on the murder of a child, and police that stay silent and don't come out and flip a bitch and never shut up. All sorts of children dying in foster care, adoption. We live in Halloween. We don't even need a Halloween. These people don't even need masks. We live in a Halloween state of life. And this isn't life. Just for these kids, what life did they have? So, back to that. Here it is here. Rock Church. So yeah, we're going to dig into this more. Just want to make sure I see what you're seeing. Okay, so yeah, they show the picture, show the sexy ladies. Point Loma Nazarene University hosting a screening, stolen. Okay, claims of 15 to 50,000 women and children, blah, blah. Stolen episode, exclusive interviews, substantial proof, scope, and as a global pandemic shifts education system. Event designed to come together as advocates for human trafficking.
Wouldn't divulge anything.
Jen Karofsky has lived next door to the McCormicks for 4 years. She says the family kept to themselves. She also repeated something we've heard from other neighbors. They hardly ever saw Arabella or her 2 little sisters.
Only time I saw children there was when we first moved in 4.5 years ago. There were 2 little girls sitting on the stoop waiting outside. I assumed they were friends of visitors to the house, not that they lived there, because I have never seen children playing, coming and going to school. I've never heard children.
There's still a lot we don't know, but it's not for a lack of trying. San Diego County officials won't give us a lot of answers. Child welfare services won't tell us anything about Arabella's or her younger sister's adoptions or where the younger girls are now. They also won't say whether they've ever received any reports of abuse since the girls were placed with Brian and Leticia McCormick. The sheriff's department acknowledged the homicide investigation, but also won't answer questions about possible child abuse to Arabella and her sisters. And the medical examiner won't say anything about Arabella or Brian McCormick's death, saying that those reports are sealed by, you guessed it, the sheriff's department. But we have talked to a number of people related to both the biological and adoptive parents and several neighbors. While we can't independently confirm this, here's what they've told us. Arabella and her sisters lived here in this house with Brian and Leticia McCormick since 2017. Their adoptions were finalized in 2019. Arabella and her sisters were all homeschooled. And the biological parents tell us they've been trying to get their girls back, but a caseworker told them they're not allowed to talk to us about their own case. The adoptive mother, Leticia McCormick, has been an important figure at the Rock Church for several years, serving as a ministry leadership program coordinator and was an ordained elder. However, the church says it's put that ordained status on hold. That's why a representative says that the church removed its leadership page immediately after Arabella's death for 2 weeks and then restored it with Leticia's bio removed. Now, Leticia has not been charged in connection to Arabella's death. We've reached out to her several times, but we haven't heard back. Arabella's biological father is a member of the Mesa Grande Band of the Gueño Mission Indians. There's an added complexity to foster care and adoptions involving Native American children. The tribe told us it didn't want to talk about what's happening, and officials they referred us to never responded to our phone and email messages.
So frustrating reporting a story like this. And Alexis, I know you first reported on Arabella's death last week, and since then, when we get this sick feeling in the pit of your stomach for stories like this, our viewers, our social media followers, all reached out, outraged, saying that child welfare failed them. But if the adoption was finalized, would child welfare services have been involved?
And that's one of the biggest questions we've been trying to get the answer to. When was the last time the county had contact with the family and girls? And were there ever any reports of suspect this week?
And since then, when we get this sick feeling in the pit of your stomach for stories like this, our viewers, our social media followers, all reached out, outraged, saying that child welfare failed them. But if the adoption was finalized, would child welfare services have been involved?
And that's one of the biggest questions we've been trying to get the answer to. When was the last time the county had contact with the family and girls? And were there ever any reports of suspected abuse? But again, the county is refusing to share any information with us about this case.
Well, we hope we can get some movement so we can find out the real story here. We appreciate you digging into it. Yeah.
Hopefully we can.
Yeah, thank you. As Alexis mentioned in the story, we maybe would have known.
Again, 4.5 years, child trafficking going on at that house, the church involved, church trafficking, church bonuses, church foster care agency, the Rock Church, her adopter, trafficker. They're not mothers of anything. They're the female trafficker. She is a high-ranking part of the Rock Church in San Diego. Big cover-up here. The church, the leadership, the Border Patrol. 4.5 years, no contact. They wouldn't have no contact because she's adopted, and that's the whole bullshit of adoption, the black market. There we go, cops coming in. There we go. Like to see that. Okay, we're live here. Yeah, what does this case not have? We got U.S. Border Patrol. We got law enforcement. We got the ordained minister. We got the adoption, foster care, the loving mother stripped of her children. Oh my God. Oh my God. I know y'all can hear me out there. It's Friday. It's called Get Busy Friday. There's always something to do on the big Friday. 10-2-1-2-2. Wow. Okay. I got new information coming in. I'm so upset that there's new information. We're finding that he's Border Patrol. He's a DHS agent, Department of Homeland Security, child killer, child trafficker, child torturer. She died of starvation and torture. And at 11, where's her other sibling?
child trafficking at the border. Hello. Come on.
Okay, we're live here.
Hi, my name is Jaime Gutierrez, and I live in San Diego, California.
We're following you. Go ahead.
And my experience with CPS here has been nothing short of a nightmare. My ex-girlfriend, called CPS on us basically, and during the investigation, she tested dirty for meth, so she had our baby removed for that reason. I was living in Mexico, in Tijuana at the time, because she accused me of pulling her hair, so I moved out that same night. And I was living in Mexico when I was told that she tested dirty for meth and my son was going to get removed. After that, my visits have been canceled.
How long have they had the kid?
For 8 months now.
Okay, great. I'm following you. Basically, you're experiencing hardcore child trafficking unnecessarily.
Yes, and this is not the first time either. But this is just my experience now with my son. He's 2 years old. He's in a home with, the same sex marriage couple, which isn't a problem with me. It's just that they won't show their faces to me. I do video calls with my son, and they won't. The parents that are watching him will not show their faces to me. That's scary to me because these are adults, and they've had my son for months, and they just allowed me just recently to do video calls, and just recently they started my visits to where I get more than 2 hours per week. But this just happened last week, and this week they canceled my visits completely. So
because
he's sick. They just tell me he has a fever, and that was it. Other than that, they said that they're gonna do surgery on him, and I don't agree with it.
Surgery for what?
Something they didn't explain it very well. They just said that something about his ears that
ears
prevent him from speaking well. I don't know. He's 2 years old, so
yeah, very fragile. Shouldn't be with grown male men together.
No, he's with two grown females.
Okay.
But I'm just saying, it's just. Nothing is normal here. 3 attorneys have stepped down from trying to defend me, which their supervisor had to step in to defend me because her subordinates stepped down. So most of the time they ask the boss to do something that the rest of them won't do. So I'm kind of fearful for that reason. And but it's just nothing. I'll go to the CPS office to speak to a worker. I'll sit there for hours without seeing anybody, and it's just crazy the stuff that they're getting away with.
Okay, yeah, you basically have no rights. You're being railroaded.
I got my visits canceled because I said that I didn't want my son to get fluoride products at a dentist appointment, and that was the reason they canceled my visits for 4 months.
Okay, did they tell you specifically they were going to give him fluoride?
Yes. They said that part of the treatment was fluoride, and I said I didn't want fluoride.
What for him? A fluoride treatment for his dental?
Yes, for his he had some cavity issues, and they wanted to put fluoride products in his mouth, and I said no, that I believe that that's a poison, so I didn't want it. And the foster parent, a different person, believed otherwise, and he called the Kate Pearson, the social worker, and asked her, hey, does the biological parent have any say-so in his dental treatment? And she told him to say no, so he says that I didn't have any say-so to begin with.
Are you familiar with the Rock Church?
No, I just found out right now.
Okay, so they do have that thing there for victims of human trafficking. You should try to go there and record in a public setting where it's not deemed private, so there's no privacy concern. But if you could secretly record, or just somebody go in there and say, you know, they've taken my child. Do you have any services, or can you give me that it's breaking that I'm in need of counseling services or some type of, you know, remedy for you to help ease your suffering that you've been going through.
And I've done everything that they've asked me for. Like I've done everything that they've asked me for.
Okay.
I've never tested dirty for drugs or anything.
Yeah.
Like,
so yeah, he's just big money. It's child trafficking. They want him for money. They want to keep him a year and a half. They want to maim him with that fluoride. There's no reason for a child to be having fluoride, especially at 2 years old. Parts of their body haven't even fully matured yet. So totally ridiculous that they're forcing these things on a 2-year-old.
And the ombudsman people, they're a joke. I mean, they're all controlled by the attorneys. You know what? Like, I'm willing to say this, and I'm willing to bet everything on it that there's a cabal person that's giving orders up at the top to all the attorneys at the bottom. So there's not really like a set fairness as far as law. There's no law anymore. It's just criminals.
Yeah, they can do whatever they want. Clear. You're feeling the wrath. You're feeling the wrath of lawlessness, loss of concern, no direction.
Billy Jack said, when there's no law, there's only survival.
Destabilize everything, and we're going to win in the end. We're going to do whatever we want to do. This is how we do it. And just the evil. Yeah, you're witnessing hardcore.
And I'm seeing a correlation between all these killings between those artists and child trafficking. Like, it's all connected, and it's just crazy. But yeah, their pockets are getting hit right now because there's people speaking out, and there's people that, like me, that are shining the light on the traffickers. I seen a lady from the courthouse that snatched my baby from my arms in the courthouse go to the CPS office and grab a man from there. I don't know if it was her husband or her boyfriend, but I feel like they both are scouting children for CPS, and they get them through the courthouse because they go through her and through him. So, I mean, I have them on camera coming out of CPS office, and I have her going into her work at the courthouse. But I feel, like the husband is working at the CPS office because he's checking out the parents, checking out to see who's single parents and who's more likely candidate to have their child trafficked. And then they have that other lady at the courthouse working at the family courthouse with that pedophile pubic judge in El Cajon that take children like that and snatch them from parents' arms. Like, that's disgusting. I had eight armed thugs behind me ready to take me down and kill me in case I protested them snatching my baby from my arms.
Okay, got it.
He was being so happy.
Yeah,
anyway,
of course. Yeah, I'm listening. You had some. Yeah, too bad you didn't film that. But yeah, law enforcement, the collection agencies, were holding all law enforcement accountable for these.
They know about all this traffic.
Yeah, and they target. Yeah, they target. It's there's a it's a racist. It's racism from the top. You know, it's all white leadership at the top. I'm sure probably down there.
Zionism, pedophile,
Freemason, Mormons, Freemasons, Zionists. All that clear. Yeah, I can imagine San Diego, lots of money down there, and the border agent. But yeah, this case here, it's.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna go to that church and I'm gonna shine a light because that's what I do.
Yeah, that we need the pastor to speak up, and we want a documentary about foster care adoption. That's where all the trafficking is going on. We've seen your documentary, but we think Arabella, you could make it, a documentary about Arabella's case and how you were infiltrated, how you hired and promoted a child trafficker, a child abuser, a child torturer, a child murderer. That's who's charged. You're looking at her on the screen. Letitia McCormack, ordained minister. Oh, we put everything on hold and we're going to restrict her ordainship. And was a program coordinator. We're going to take her off the website, but no public statements. But we think that she could have had a hand in the documentary that they've been doing that came out 4 weeks earlier about child trafficking and the boogeyman inside jail, and nothing to do with where it's all happening. Just another propaganda media event. But yeah, they have a lot of money and funding to help victims and families of child trafficking. So
well, we got Biden in office, and he's just doing Hillary Clinton's bidding.
It's all everything's the same. Okay. Left, right, parties, the church and state. I've already declared it. They're birds of one feather. They're no different than the Republican Democrat BS. The church and state are married. There is no separation. They got engaged with the 501c3. Do you, church, Rock Church, take this 501c3 to be your controller of what you talk about and what you perform? And they're all sold out. It's all fake. We've been faked. We've been fooled. Thank you, Jimmy. You said it. And let's get down to the nitty gritty and let's snap people out of it and make them look like the fools that they are if they continue.
I mean, no, the story that I have for you for my daughter that happened in Tucson, in Pima County, is even worse. Because there, a doctor, a pain management doctor, called his buddies, the police, on me because I was going through withdrawals. And I called him because he gave me his phone number to call him. And I told him, hey, I need more those blood pressure Klonopins. They lower your blood pressure and they stabilize you from the withdrawals. And that's what I was asking him for. He was at church. He got mad at me. He called his buddies, the cops. They called CPS on me. I had my both daughters removed for that reason, and that reason alone. And both of my daughters were in a home with a woman and her children first, and then my daughter started acting up. My 5-year-old started acting up because she was tired of the bullshit. So they called the police on her, and they removed her and put her with a man and a 15-year-old boy. The 15-year-old boy was touching on my daughter, and my daughter they kept her away from me for like 2 weeks. They wouldn't let me see her, and I'm asking what the fuck is going on, like what's going on with my daughter, and nobody's telling me nothing. They wouldn't let me see her, talk to her, or nothing until finally I seen her, and she told me in front of the CPS supervisor, hey, that boy where I live is touching me down here.
What age?
And she pointed.
What age?
And
what age?
Yeah.
What year? What age?
She was 5, and this was 2015.
Got it. So
and Patty Flores was the supervising visiting lady social worker that was there. After my daughter reported that, I did not get a hold of Patty Flores. It's like she fell off the face of the earth.
And trafficking, especially by somebody.
Okay. Yeah, I'm exhausted. We've just been really going at it. Got a very good video here. Legendary video. Thank you for chiming in. Leonard Garcia says, reach out to him. He's in San Diego for 5 days. It's time to audit and try to get some questions answered as to what are you going to do? And don't you think that you should be, whether it's at the church, whether anything, any kind of information you can gather, because that's many times all we can do is gather the information, store it, and share it, and talk about things the way they need to be. Leonard Garcia says, reach out to him. You'll see him there. Do you see the comments? Okay, great. Yeah, he's there. So I'd like to go down there. I'm trying to reach the mother. If you can get a hold of the mother, we'd like to go down there and we're going to bring a siren, a bell, a very loud bell that's going to ring so loud for this little child. Is the loudest bell you've ever heard. Yeah, it's all about ring the bell, the siren. We're in a state of war, and this is it's a sacrifice. These are satanic sacrifices. Any way you want to look at it, it's made to do this. It's created to do this. It's not monitored to do this. It's committing treason to do this. Yeah. So it's working perfectly, and it's the more carnage, the more ugly it gets. That's how they want it. It's we can get away with anything. We're doing it. We've been doing it. The people are zombies. We got them zombified. Everyone, and it's a lot of it could be that fluoride.
It's a lot more than that, man.
Yeah.
It's just like
it's
decades of indoctrination.
Sure, they're poisoning everything. Okay, they're poisoning food, water, air, news, schools, churches, judiciary, police. Everything's poisoned. That's the way we're going to rule this whole burrito.
What I find interesting is how they're putting human flesh in the burgers at McDonald's. And I seen a story in about Colombia and about a homeless community in Colombia, and a reporter doing a story on them and them saying that the human flesh is so addicting, as strong as drugs.
Interesting. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it, because anything that's addicting they're going to use. So I wouldn't doubt that's being done. But also, that reiterating, I had a dream the other day. It was after I ate a noodle, a top ramen noodle, and I don't eat those hardly ever. And I ate the cheap, the 99-cent top ramen noodle with the little red pack. No, the cheaper ones in the bag, right? Okay. And I had the most horrific dream I think I've ever had, where I'm emotional about it. Like, why? Why did I have that freaking dream? And it was a dream about a car, out of control car, two women in it, catching on fire, watching the whole thing, trying to stop the whole thing, watching the whole thing happen, watching a woman burn, watching having to rescue the babies in the back, picking them up and holding them in their last minutes. And that was something I don't know. I was emotional about it today. I almost need counseling for this freaking dream. What caused it? What causes it? I don't know. So yeah, just things to think about. The power of dreams and what's in the food. What is in this freaking food? You better believe everything is being poisoned, and you have to be really careful about what we eat. So I don't think I'm going to eat a top ramen for a long time.
Well, I just like I'm finding out that they pray over the damn Halloween candy, that they do witchcraft on it. So when the children consume it, guess what happens is anybody's guess,
Sure. Yeah, and like you said,
so I wouldn't doubt if they do some crazy stuff like that to the top ramen or any of them.
Exactly. The artificial sweetener, the NutraSweet, aspartame, how that's created. We're lab aspartame and what that.
They say the whole planet Earth is a lab.
Okay, so just they're going to win. It's a war, state of war. Wanting to remind people out there, we're in a state of war, and to see everything as a war: food, water, air, nutrition, education, judiciary, medical, everywhere is a war. And as long as they keep it all screwed up, got people pointing fingers, making you think your vote's going to do something, we're doomed, because everything comes down to humanity. That's why we launched backhumanity.com. We're hashtag back humanity. It's humanity or nothing. And that's all that should ever matter. We want maximum wealth laws for billionaires. No one should be owning $1 billion. That's ridiculous. That's evil to anyone who owns billions of dollars. There's no reason, logic, or sense to it, and it's not even these. There's not even one people. It's our rulers, and these people that they put in place to play the role. Thank you for calling in, caller. Reach out to Leonard Garcia. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Pleasure, Jimmy. Hope to hear from you later. Wow. Yeah, people with issues, addiction issues, and they can be monitored. They need to be monitored, and with the kids, and supervise them. Put them under a video camera. You don't need to separate them. They're not safe. Children are not safe with strangers, no matter how you slice it. They're all doing it for money. They're doing it for wickedness, because the children aren't abused. Most of them aren't abused. It's all neglect cases, claims of neglect. It's the most stupidest thing you've ever heard. They're getting away with it because there's too much money. And they're cowards. Anyone who's not in this war fighting it is a coward. Period. This is ground zero. This little girl we're looking at, Arabella, the little angel. This is ground zero. And for all those people out there say some things happen for a reason, there's no reason for what we witness. No rhyme or reason, right? Reason means something reasonable, right? If it's reasonable, there's nothing reasonable here. This is satanic. It's the more problems, the better for the better that it's the results, the deaths, the murders. That's all we should be focusing on is the abuses. And we show them all. We highlight them all. We highlight them at cpsnewsnetwork.com. I'm going to go there right now before we close. What a day. Wow. We're at cpsnewsnetwork.com. Lots of pictures. You can copy them. You can share them. But this is cowards. Ask yourself, who's fighting this? Who's denying that there's a problem? The judges, the social workers, the preachers. All of these people were paid by the federal government, Health and Human Services. How many rapes have to happen of children? How many murders? How many strangulations, mutilations, dismemberments, selling of children, sex trafficking of children? How many have to? You can't tell me there's any good law enforcement officer in the United States right now, period, that cares about children. Anyone who cares about children would already know about this. This isn't 2002. This isn't 2005. This isn't 2010. Anyone who cares about children is going to know this. They have to. Anyone who goes to where children are the most abused, the most sexually abused, the most starved, the most beaten up, the most framed, the most tortured souls, they end up here. Child trafficking, child porn, you end up here. My phone should be reaching out. Who did this? Who created this? Who created this website? How could all this be happening? Oh, it's the bad parents. They're all drug addicted. Well, everybody has a little issue now and then, and they need to be given a chance to be monitored, supervised, and treatment. Not torn apart and hurting everybody. You can supervise these people with addiction issues. You can supervise them. There's ankle bracelets. I don't care. Cameras in the home, and there's ways to supervise. CPS needs to be dissolved, like Nancy Schaefer said. There's no reason for it to exist. She's seen no good in it at all. There's no good in it.
at all. Police have their own investigation units. Why is there a CPS investigation? And it's not even an investigation. It's just a narrative. They're writing storylines to steal children and traffic them. There's no good judge in America, no good politician, none of them. None of them. This is simple to solve. Stop committing treason and taking children without evidence of a crime. Period. That's it. That's all that needs to be talked about. No new law, no new legislation, no new leader. You don't need anything but people to do what's right. The most simple, fundamental thing to do what's right. If you're going to do something like this and take children and traffic them out to strangers in foster and permanently in adoption, you better have some evidence and a trial. That's it's the last bastion of hope. But when everything's corrupt, everything's one-sided, rubber stamp judges, everybody making money, this is the most beautiful thing in the world to them. They're just looking at their stocks and bonds going up, that purchase home, that vacation home, those judges, those attorneys with the settlements, the 1 million, 2 million, 5 million out of court settlements. Just write up some black and white paper and you can collect millions and millions of dollars off the blood of these children. Foster agencies, social workers, all those paychecks, fancy cars, trips to Las Vegas. We live in a monster world that's federally funded. None of it could happen without the federal welfare checks going out. I'm going to stop there. Well, I thank you all for watching. Yeah, resources. So you're looking at a picture here. Don't let them take me, says Cameron Michael, age 2 there on the left. Last words to Grandma, don't let them take me. Cameron. How can you forget those words? Don't let them take me. Don't let CPS take me. Don't tell me there's a good pastor in the world anywhere. Don't tell me there's a good cop in the world anywhere. That just you can't do this, and they're all silent and complicit. Period. They don't care about children. There's no good anti-child abuse thing that cares about, because they would support having a trial to take children. You better get some cuffs on. You better put somebody in jail. You better have some pictures of evidence. And there's all sorts of other mechanisms that could be used to monitor and supervise and facilitate vulnerable people, vulnerable mothers. Horrific murders, horrific rapes. So just close the case on everything. On your church, on your pastor. What a crock of crap. Your chief of police committing treason, taking children with no crime and delivering them to a civil court. What's this one? Yeah, they don't care if you did everything you're supposed to. I'm still selling your child. These are Freemason pedophiles, Mormons, a lot of them. Masonic, Freemason, and or Mormon. Those are the rich ones at the top. It's a cult. These are satanic cults that are running this operation. Most powerful people in the world are behind the largest child trafficking ring in the world. CPS, foster care adoption. 500,000, 500,000 in foster care. 90% don't need to be there. Broken jaw, starved, 56 pounds at age 16. Sabrina Ray. Broken jaw, left in the basement, dying with other foster adopted children. Oh, they just settled. Yeah, they settled a lawsuit for another kid that was there at the house. He
He witnessed abuse. That's really weird. Adopted children. The city settles a claim for adopted children. Imagine that. That's something new. It's worth looking into. Adopted child just recently, a boy. I know the mother. I know the boy. And there's another little girl. They were all in this house together where she was killed. Rumors are, not rumors, but mother statements are that her daughter was with her witnessing the death by neglect and isolation. And the boy knew about it or was around there too. And he's getting a settlement. That's really interesting. Who's paying that settlement? Who's liable? Very much worth looking into. Hunter Payton, bruised, battered. Poor boys. See, you can just watch this stuff and just know that, wow, my abuses were nothing. When you experience this type of abuse at such a young age, look at his head. His head has stitches all the way around. That's Cameron Michael. That's the same boy that was in that other picture. Cameron Michael with the hair. Don't let them take me, Grandma. Grandma, don't let them take me. Yeah, that was Sabrina Ray. She was starved. Oh, a pit bull here. A cop father, cop son, trafficking a baby, left the baby with the dog, unattended, for a long period of time. Welcome to Florida. Yeah, kill the dog. Is it the dog's fault? No. People who had the dog, of course. What else were they doing with the baby? This is a very, very unsafe place. Never been more unsafe than it is right now. Whole industry. Never been more unsafe and uncertain. Nobody ever charged. Yeah, that's the social worker that shot herself at the CPS office. She made the right decision, whatever it was. She made the right decision. Either kidnap and traffic kids and deliver them to dangerous places, or shoot yourself. Martin Burns. Found on a hillside. What did he know? Boy comes back from Washington after being trafficked by two gay guys, comes back from college and stabs his adopted traffickers. Why do you think he stabbed them? Did they do something to him when he was young? Why does a foster kid come home all deranged and stab his two gay traffickers that have another trafficked baby? It's wicked. He clearly didn't have any bond with any of them. Oh, let's blame his mother. Let's blame, everything else but the traffickers. These stories. It's all right there. CPSNewsNetwork.com. It's all right there. These freaking stories. So, I'm going to sign out. CPS News Network. Thank you for sticking with us. Out.